While I'm not the most seasoned traveler, I have had a chance to see a lot of the world already. There's a lot more to see, but I wanted to share my insight into various places I've been to in various categories just to give tips from personal experience. It's 100% subjective based on my own personal experience. For example, where have I been that have the best beaches, in my opinion? I have to give this to number one, Mexico. Now, these are not in any particular order, but Ensenada, surprisingly, was my favorite. You could ride horsebacks, and it was quite secluded. I mean, it was not as crowded as, say, Mazatlan, although that was a very interesting beach as well. And I just have to give Ensenada, surprisingly, you may not expect one of the best beaches. Not a lot of litter, and just very beautiful scenery. And another number two I would give to Phuket area of Thailand. This could be Karen Beach, Kata Beach, Patong Beach. I got to see all of them from a distance or up close. And I have to say, just because you're right next to the accessibility to such wonderful food and just the whole vibe, this is one of my favorite parts of Thailand for sure. And number three would go to the black sand beaches of Hawaii just because they're so exotic. I almost gave this to Kauai because it had some very beautiful beaches, clean water, just stunning. But the black sand beaches are so exotic. So these are the three best beaches I'd recommend from my experience. Let's move on to the best big cities. If you're a person that prefers the big city, things to do in a large city, number one, I have to give to Osaka. It's so interesting. The decorations on all the restaurants. The massive strip malls that you can walk down. Very walkable city, very large city, of course, in size, but just the vibe was very cool and just interesting looking city. Something you have to see in your life. Number two, I would give to Rome and the Vatican, because it has this overlapping of ancient history with still relatively ancient history from a couple hundred years ago. The more, I don't know if you'd call it, colonial times, but then modern overlapping. So everything's overlapping. You have the ancient Senate, you have the Colosseum, but then you have the modern built up all around it. And with the Vatican in there, Rome is a place to see, and very interesting architecture, of course. And another, my number three, it's actually Tokyo. So two in Japan, but Tokyo, so accessible by train, and so much interesting things to see. For example, the shrine and temples, as well as just the food variety, museums, gaming centers, just claw machines, unlike anything you've ever seen. So we're going to move on now. Instead of big cities, what if you prefer small cities or towns? In my opinion, the best small cities and towns I've been in, and this is worldwide that I've been to, number one would be Nara, Japan, another one in Japan. Rented electric bikes there, got to go between all the shrines, all the Shinto shrines, the wild deer everywhere, and very friendly people. Some of the friendliest people in Japan that I've met, and just very cool layout and just very interesting city. Number two, I'm going to give to Corfu, Greece. I really enjoyed my time in Corfu. Very walkable city. They had a parade going on, which was a lot of fun to witness. But just the shops are very interesting. I've been to lots of touristy areas. This is, of course, catering to tourism. But you have the old fortress, which is very old, and then you have the new fortress, which is still quite old. And then you have everything in between, and you have all the restaurants and coffee shops, and it's just a very cool vibe. And number three is also in Greece for small city or town, and that'd be Mykonos with all the windmills, the white buildings. You can be in a back alley and enjoy lamb with oregano, sipping on a beer if you want, and just walk around and explore this beautiful, beautiful small city or town, whatever you want to call it. Now, what if you're a person who prefers the mountains or hiking? Now, one of these will be obvious, and two of these are going to be surprising to you, but it's based on my own experience. Number one would be Hilo in Hawaii, just because you can explore the volcanoes and go around that area. So I think even though it's not, like mountain climbing, it's still hiking and exploring, the interesting volcanoes, and you can see lava, if you go out far enough. And also just beautiful. Hawaii is beautiful. Number two, I'm going to give to Phoenix, Arizona. Not a place a lot of people think about visiting, but I really enjoyed my time in Phoenix. Great variety of restaurants, and not as expensive to visit as a lot of other places. I'm going to get into that more later, talking about more budget destinations. But to say the desert, if you really want to see, the southwestern United States, the desert, this is a great place to explore, like Hole in the Rock here. And number three, I'm going to give to Cusco because you can go to Machu Picchu, of course. and it is very mountainous and high elevation. And the most beautiful of all is the Rainbow Mountains, Palcoyo Rainbow Mountain. What a place to see! A place I'd highly recommend if you can to see Cusco and go to Palcoyo Rainbow Mountain. It's so much more beautiful in person. All of these places are. Pictures don't give them justice, right? Now let's talk about the best for food overall. Every place is going to have good food and good restaurants that, that you would want to go to if you look hard enough. But what about best for food overall? I thought about these three places, and by the way, they also happen to be some of the best for nightlife, because I was thinking of the category best nightlife. So best for food overall is also the best for nightlife. And these three start with Las Vegas, of course. Even though it's gone a little bit downhill, it's gotten significantly more expensive. Tourism rates are dropping big time to Vegas, but I grew up near Vegas, used to go there a lot through the 90s and 2000s. It's still one of the best places in the world for food because you can get any kind of food you want. Some of the best fine dining in the world. If money doesn't matter, you're going to get some incredible access to food. And these buffets, I mean, I haven't been there since COVID, but I hope a lot of these buffets still have such wonderful food, like the Paris buffet, the Cosmopolitan. Some places have closed down, but the Bellagio, the Mirage is closed down, but I mean, just really good buffets. And of course, good nightlife. The city never sleeps. Number 2 goes to Phuket again. We're going to revisit Phuket because the nightlife there is crazy. And man, the lady bars, for example, but also for food, you get fresh seafood and Thai food. You get Southern style Thai food like curries. So delicious. And number 3, I'm going to give to Barcelona. I need to go back to Barcelona. I didn't spend a lot of time there, and I was there with my parents, so I didn't explore the nightlife as much as I could have, but I've heard it has wonderful nightlife, and we went out, and it was very lively at night, and some of the best calamari, best seafood. You get, the Spanish cuisine is so wonderful, as well as like the paella, and so those are the 3 best food overall, best nightlife. Now, what if you're on a budget and presuming that you're from the United States, you want the best destinations on a budget? Number 1 would be Bangkok because you're going to see fantastic temples. It still has a fantastic nightlife if you want, and pretty inexpensive. You can find a lot of cheap food there, and flying there would be your biggest expense, but you can get very cheap hotels there, motels, hostels. It's very cheap to stay in Bangkok. And transportation, it costs like $6 to take a Bolt across town. So you don't have to worry about even using the bus system because you can use Bolt or Grab, and it's very easy to get around. Number 2, I'm going to give to Phoenix, Arizona, because it's such an underrated destination. But I want to talk about the Musical Instrument Museum, one of my favorite museums. You could spend 6 to 8 hours here. They give you a little headpiece to listen to all the instruments, and it's every musical instrument like ever invented by mankind. I mean, this place is massive, and it's so interesting and exotic. And that's right there in Phoenix. And boy, I had some great Ethiopian food in Phoenix. I had some great Jamaican curries around Phoenix, the greater Phoenix area. Best on a budget, in my opinion, for that reason. You can stay right in the United States. Number 3, I'm going to give to Ensenada because you really get to see Mexico and you get to explore the beaches, like I said. And, you can do a little cruise to Ensenada, too, which is one of the cheaper cruises if you leave out of Long Beach. So, yeah, Ensenada, great on a budget. And, yeah, you can get dollar beers. Sometimes now I think they're closer to $2, but they used to be dollar beers. What about the most expensive destinations I've been to, but still worth visiting? Number 1 is New York City. Very expensive. I mean, this was a long time ago. I was there 2015, relatively speaking, long time ago. And it was pricey. And so very expensive. Just going to the top of the Empire State Building, I think I paid like $60 to $80 US dollars. So very expensive city, but still worth seeing for the history. Hawaii is another one, of course. As I've said, it's beautiful there, but it's the United States, and it's a very popular tourist destination. Another very expensive destination, but still worth seeing, is Quebec generally, because the taxes are very, very high, the VAT. So food there, incredibly expensive, but Quebec City, very cool, very European feel in North America. Montreal, another very cool city. Again, a lot of European influence because of the French influence. It's quite a place to see, but it's not budget friendly. I'm going to get into what I would call the most underrated destinations that I've been to, meaning they don't get the best rep. The reputation is like, you don't think of going there necessarily, or you've heard bad things about it. Number 1 is Portland, Oregon. It has a very cool beatnik vibe. It has food trucks everywhere. You can see all kind of shows. The theater is very good. the food can be very good, great variety, and just a very chill beatnik vibe. Lots of live music venues. Gets a bad rep because of protests and so on, but that's really when you're there. That's not a big part of the city by any means. And I always recommend people. They say, you know, I talk about from the United States when I travel. I recommend various places, and I always try to say, hey, Portland actually is a very cool city to see. Number two would be New Haven, Connecticut. When I lived back east in Connecticut, New Haven had a very bad rep because there are some not so nice parts of it. But that's the east coast of the U.S. It has a very high poverty and then very high wealthy population. There's not a lot of middle class in this area. And so New Haven has that feel. But the nice parts of New Haven, in particular Yale, seeing Yale, you get to see a lot of history because it's such an old university, very beautiful university. One of the best art museums I've ever been to was in Yale. And New Haven, it's a cool part of Connecticut. It's my favorite part of Connecticut. So if you're going to be in Connecticut, that's the place to see. And I'm going to give number three to Halifax in Nova Scotia, which I didn't spend a huge amount of time in, but I had some really good like lobster rolls and exploring the town. It had a clock tower. It had a very clean feel to it. It was, very Japan-like in a way. And Halifax, it's just a cool place to hang out. Now I'm going to just talk about places I have no interest in going back to. If I never go back to these places, I'm not going to cry. I would not even recommend them. And you'll see why. I'll recommend why. Number one is Los Angeles, California, LA. Of course, the traffic's bad. The pollution is bad. Hollywood is the only thing that has any kind of interesting feel to it. There's Universal Studios, right? You can do Universal Studios if you're in Osaka, though. And so I have to say, LA, it's really not a fun place. And it's very spread out. You have to have a car there. And I have no interest in going back. Another one is Cabo San Lucas. Even though it was beautiful, it had some really cool, obviously it's the very bottom of Baja California, so the rocks are cool. So many scammers, so many people jumping on you. You can't walk around without people they get your photograph real quick and then they try to charge you. And they like walk right up to you and get in your face. And I found just the residents to be really annoying. And that's part of why I didn't like Cabo. Also, I found the town to be I'd rather go to Temecula or San Diego if I'm going to go to a town like that on the coast. Or Catalina Island, frankly. There's so many places I've been to that are not in this list, but Cabo, and another one when I went to Charlotte, North Carolina. I went there for school on a business trip. Basically, I had to take national boards there, but I did spend some time exploring Charlotte, and it was basically a big shopping mall. And just I find Portland more interesting. I found of the big cities I recommended. Remember Osaka, Rome, Tokyo. Good Lord, go to them instead. Charlotte also happened to have really terrible barbecue. I tried a few places. You hear Carolina barbecue, but maybe I just had bad luck. But it was not good, and the people were not the most friendly either. And so that's any big city really, but I didn't have a good time in Charlotte. I have no interest in going back. All right, so here's the list again of what I would recommend based on my past travels, and I was brutally honest with what I liked and didn't like, and this list will be revisited in a couple years. In 2026, I'm going to Bali, Thailand, and the Caribbean. In 2027, I plan to do a world tour where you keep going west so you don't get jet lag, and as of now, the list is South Korea, Malaysia, Turkey, and Belgium. Very interesting variety of countries to see that I have not seen before. In 2028, I want to do some kind of Europe little trip going around. And so right now it's probably going to be Germany, Czech Republic, Austria, and France, but it might change. That's still a long time from now. And then in 2029, I want to hit up Africa. Got to see Africa. Morocco, Egypt, and Ghana is what I'm looking into. So in 2029, I'll revisit this list.